VIII. A few times in this playthrough I've mentioned how great the backgrounds are, and this one, absolutely one of the best that you see on Disc 1. It's awesome. And this is the Tomb of the Unknown King, and this intro hallway is quite creepy, and the whole place in general is pretty creepy atmosphere-wise. There's a sword on the ground, and the student ID number is 191, and I just so happen to have a pen and a piece of paper on it, just so I don't forget. I didn't remember it being only 3 digits, so this is kind of overkill. I'm pretty sure I could remember it, but considering the fact that we aren't immediately leaving this place, I should write it down. Alright, so now that I have that, I am going to show you why Tomb of the Unknown King is so bad. Or not bad, I like it, but why it can be pretty challenging. So we have 3 options here. We can open up the map and see. Oh, I have to hold down select to see the map. That's interesting. It's not a toggle. Especially weird because the mini-map and the different maps on the overworld and the field are toggles. But anyway, it seems pretty straightforward from the map. It's a grid layout. But the problem with the Tomb of the Unknown King is that if you enter a certain direction and then turn around, say, your perspective is always behind you in the way that you face when you enter the hallway. So this is the same screen that we were just in. And if we go right, we'll run into the sword. Or at least, I thought we would. Yeah, and we're out now. The sword was gone, though, because we didn't enter from the front. So yeah, it's pretty confusing. Full disclosure, I am 100% cheating at the moment, looking at a guide that has the map on my monitor right here. It's not too bad, and I wouldn't necessarily say that you shouldn't go through here, but you don't have to, and a reward for going through here is awesome. So luckily, a lot of the map looks like we just have to go to the right when we can. I really hope I don't screw this up. Or go to the right when we can for a while, at least. There's some switches here, but I think for the majority of it, it'll be going right. This should lead us into a different chamber, I think. Yeah, perfect. With this cool statue. What in the world? It's not a statue at all. It's a scary minotaur with a huge mace. Oh, hits really hard. I just want to see what he has. Berserk. Oh, I just made Selfie also drop Berserk, I think. Yeah, whoops. Oh, lives. Okay, hang on. I would really like to have some of those. If only for the ability to res without having to waste a Phoenix down. It's really helpful. A life spell also probably would have killed that zombie president that we fought in the train. Draw failed. Oh boy, that's nuts. It's gonna go back and forth a few times. is healing every once in a while. There it goes right there. And that is a pretty annoying mechanic to have to deal with, but luckily, if you remember that we drew float before ending off in the previous video, it'll make this boss a lot easier by completely getting rid of that mechanic. Alright, that should be enough. That's fine. Let's get some attacks going. Now, unfortunately, float does not last for the entire duration of the fight, but we should be able to get through it pretty quickly since we're doing Shiva and Siren. And with Squall's auto attacks always doing 100 HP, at least 100 HP, typically it's around 150, I can't imagine this taking up too much of our time. Honestly, it might be over after this one. I have the, next to the map, I have the boss's potential HP right in front of me, but given the level scaling that bosses do. Okay, there we go. We're still at pretty low level. We haven't even hit level 20 yet, so HP is pretty low on these guys. Thankfully, because we're not very broken power-wise yet, or if we ever will be. Everybody put on your 3D glasses. Okay, so there's nothing for us to specifically do in this room other than fight him, but that pedestal came up, which is the first step of 3 steps that we have to do in this dungeon. Okay, and now we are back out the same hallway, but the perspective is switched because we're coming back this time. Luckily, it's still just going right. Except for when we're given no other option. Encounter half is so nice to have. I want to say the encounter rate for this area is pretty small to begin with, though. And speak of the devil. Oh, we got a back attack, though. Oh. They're tough. Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I want to see what they're weak to. Obviously not to punches. Blobra, a half-liquid creature resistant to physical attacks. Elemental weaknesses differ with each one that appears. Well, that's a royal pain in the butt. This one's weak to lightning. Alright, so let's summon Quetzalcoatl and see what we can do. See what we can do. Hopefully, I guess the other one might be. I didn't realize I had only 8 scans. I thought I had more than that. So I can't say this will be something that I'm doing often, and I'll probably just end up running from these guys. They might give us a good amount of AP, though. I'll always have such a big fondness for this summon attack, pretty much entirely because it was the first one I ever saw in this game. 1,200 damage, oh my goodness. Now that's impressive. Okay, this is gonna take way too long. I have to do another summon. The funny thing is they don't even really do that much damage themselves. I can just hope he is already hurt from Quetzalcoatl, so hopefully Ifrit will be able to knock him out even if he's not weak to fire. Just wasting time by auto-attacking with them. I guessed right. Cool. Let's see if this was even remotely worth the time spent. 8 magic stone pieces. Can refine those. 6 AP. That's not bad, but I still don't want to do it. Actually, maybe with that ability that... Yeah, I think with this ability we were just able to... I don't know, tool refine is something different. I thought that we could use the stones in order to refine those, but that's something different. Yeah, here we go. We have 5 Thundagas. That's pretty good. Thundaga is the 3rd tier of spell, but I don't want to mess with that because I'd rather take my time and look up what each spell junctions, or how well they refine and whatnot, rather than doing it on a whim and messing everything up, or messing up my potential damage. Not like we have to anyway. We've been having a pretty easygoing time with this game so far, and I'm happy about that. Here's our 2nd chamber, and here's float. 11 of them, so that's good. Luckily there's no fight waiting for us in the 2nd chamber, but who knows about the 3rd chamber. Back to the first person view, or not first person, you know what I mean though. The perspective change, jeez, I wandered around this place for hours, it feels like. In my memory though, my memories are prone to exaggerate. So after the 3rd chamber is when I have to pay attention and not just go right. And even if there was no perspective change, the fact that there's so many reused screens throws you off even more. Nice. I thought I remembered a hidden drop point in here. Okay, just let me refresh myself on the map again real quick. Okay, so we leave. And then we go right, like usual. Take a mandatory left, and then we go straight. Oh, please let this be right. And then an encounter that we will very quickly run away from. I think these are the only enemies that spawn in the random encounters in the Tomb of the Unknown King. Alright, we have success. Now let's just hope for success when it comes to fighting this guy again. Crap, I forgot to change what Shiva is learning. And she knows strength. And I could have junctioned strength to... Oh. I'm just setting myself up for failure with this fight. This first dialogue from Minotaur is never not funny. Just the fact that he's the bigger brother, he's really small, and he speaks with no capital letters at all. He's just like, yeah, bro. And here we go. I don't remember which one has lower HP, but they don't have the same HP. I'm gonna guess, just for joking purposes, that it's... Oh, she doesn't have magic either. Whoops. Well, that sucks. Squall's gonna be our dedicated magic guy then. And Selfie's dead. I was hoping to get at least one limit break out of her. Rough Divide. Oh, I was really hoping for that. Oh, I just attacked Minotaur by accident. Still no extra move. Oh, dang. That did not last as long as I was hoping it to. Hoping it would. Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later. I have to go through the Tomb of the Unknown King again, so I will see you in a second. Oh boy. And here we are again. Let's do a quick recap before we take on the brothers again. I don't want to say I did any grinding per se, but I did do a few encounters, so now Squall has his strength plus 20% ability, and that's going to be fantastic. What else? Oh, I realized that Zell had absolutely zero magic. All of his magic was on Quistis, and I never moved it over, so now he's decked out again stat-wise, which is great. He actually has more stats that can be junction than Squall, which is surprising. As far as what Guardian Forces are learning, Vitality still. I made Shiva learn Vitality, is now learning Vitality also. Ifrit's now not supposed to be learning that. I did not change what he was. Sure, why not? Let's go for Strength 40%. We can actually stack Strength 20% and Strength 40%. That'd be awesome. This costs a lot of AP, but treatment is great. It's an Asuna, so it cures any negative status ailments, but it also cures negative status ailments that Asuna does not. And considering the fact that nothing that Siren has except for Strength Junction 2, or Strength Defense Junction times 2, is really all that appealing. I'm just gonna go towards treatment again. She may level up and learn something that seems more desirable, but yeah, Diablo's is learning HP Junction. So more or less, as you can see, Zell and Squall have a lot of HP now. Selphie still can't junction stat magic to HP, but I think we'll be okay. Now that I'm actually going into this fight with full health on all my characters. I like how Minotaur is like a ghost when he first appears. I also realized, upon my shameful introspection after being defeated, that I only really need to float Sacred because I'm going to be focusing on him first. So I can knock him out of the fight, and then I can start focusing on Minotaur. So check it out, Zell can actually do damage now. It's pretty incredible. I'm probably going to be a little bit overly cautious for this fight just because of the sort of bad experience, let's just call it that. It's silly to waste 2 whole turns trying to float both of them when I was only going to be attacking one anyway. Unfortunately, high HP gives me more security, but it also makes it a lot harder to get limit breaks, which could really make this go by a lot faster, especially because we have to sit through summon animations as well, but that's fine. Wow, that's a lot of damage. More than I was expecting. I imagine Float's gonna wear off pretty soon. Let's go ahead and cast Siren again. I wonder if they have a weakness to water damage. Or maybe if not a weakness to water damage, then a weakness to Siren herself. But it's definitely a little tougher. Or Sacred at least is a lot tougher this time around. Let's do Quetzalcoatl just to switch things up. Oh, and there's... oh, jeez. That's what really hurt us before. Yeah, okay. That was so much more damage than I was expecting at the time. I really like the effect with Siren in this arena, how you just see the water come in. I mean, that's the usual effect, but the fact that it's contained within that room, I suppose. Oh, sad. Very sad. Oh, wasn't expecting that. I can only hope that Mad Cow Special isn't available when it's just one of them. Probably just focus on auto attacks from now on. No, I'll make Selfie do Siren, but I'll have Cell auto attack from now on. This is going much more smoothly than the previous attempt. I'm happy about that. I was just woefully unprepared for the amount of damage they were doing. I like how right before it too, I was like, we're having such an easygoing, casual, fun time with this game, and then instantly first death. Just my luck. Really shouldn't take too long with only one Guardian Force animation to sit through now. There we go. The brothers defeated. And that's what should have happened 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago for you. Quite a few minutes ago for me. We got Sacred's card. 40 AP. That is awesome. And they are brothers. It's a new Guardian Force for us, which is why obviously I had to do the Tomb of the Unknown King. And it's a cool dungeon besides. I completely forgot about this dancing ghost skeleton man. And the Minotaur card. I would imagine that both of those can probably refine into some pretty good magic. Speaking of which, I should probably not have Quetzalcoatl, will just be learning that. We got it. No more gap between Diablos and Siren. Spirit and Strength Junction. And HP plus 20% they come with by default. That's awesome. I'm going to give Brothers to Selfie for now. Defend is an okay skill, but I really don't like using it in any Final Fantasy game. It lets you set a certain character to be the tank, to take damage from the other characters. Wait, no, that's cover. Defend is just defending. which gives you increased defense during an attack, which is usually a given thing, not a skill in other Final Fantasy games. But anyway, let's do Strength Junction and give it to Selphie. It's perfect for her because it can give her strength finally, and also more HP. There we go. And now she has 910. That's fantastic. Very happy about that. And from this room, it's just a straight shot outside. No more turning right as often as we can. And then the occasional left at the very end. Oh, not that way. Yeah, besides the one screw up, Tomb of the Unknown King went a lot better than I was expecting her. Well, if you ignore the thing that made it not good, it was good, is what I'm trying to get at. Didn't even need the piece of paper this episode, so I'm just going to get to the save point and then call it for this one. It was very fun to go through it, and the Minotaur brothers, or Minotaur and Sacred, the brothers are always always fun to see. Alright, and that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you